guys, it's Rocket Stripes and welcome to a brand new video. So today we're back with another Sims 4 speed build and I'm kind of excited about this one. So I was on like Pinterest or whatever and I was looking at a bunch of those really pretty Italian houses, like the ones in the little Italian towns where there's lots of like window boxes or flower boxes, sorry, and like windows with the beautiful shutters and very like old but beautiful full architecture. And I love that style. It's like very European and very homely to me since I grew up around it. And so I was like looking through pictures of those and I thought it was really pretty. And then I was like, well, I kind of want to make something like that in The Sims. But the issue that I have is I'm like, well, there's not like, those houses are usually in like whole cities, you know, so there's city streets of them, especially in the pictures we see. But I didn't feel like building a whole city because I'm kind of lazy. So I was like, well, I'm going to try to take that kind of look and turn it into a full house. So I did my best to do that with the exterior. And then for the interior, I'm not sure where this like idea came from, but I was like, I want to not decorate this house so generically. I want to make it for like specific individuals, although in this case it's just Sims in mind. So what I did is I like came up with like a fake like family or like group of people that were living here, and then I went from there. So my idea for this was that there are two sisters and one of them has a child. I even built the Sims actually for it. Now that was just kind of for fun because I felt like it. But yeah, there's a little, I'm not sure if it's a little boy or a little girl. Honestly, it could be either. Like, it wasn't really designed one way in particular. It's a child, it doesn't matter, you know? But a little baby toddler, and then, yeah, two young women who are siblings, who are sisters, and I just thought that was a kind of cute idea. So, there's only one bathroom, and it's upstairs, and the rest of the upstairs area is actually quite open. There's not a door to it, but it's the bedroom for the sister and her daughter or son, her child, you know. So I thought that would be fun because I like the idea of a single parent, but I wanted something more than that. So I was thinking a roommate, and I'm like, you know what would make this more interesting is if there's a bit of a family dynamic here, but nothing romantic. So I went with sister because, you know, that makes the most amount of sense to me. So I don't know. I thought that would be kind of cute. And yeah, I tried my best. If you're interested, there's screenshots at the end, so you can go ahead and look through it. The interior doesn't match the exterior that much because it's really heavily influenced by the individuals' like personalities or fake personalities, I guess. But I tried to make it kind of realistic. I don't know. You can see it's not a big home by any means, but I thought it would be fun, and I'm kind of tempted to play with this family. Although usually I don't do a lot of like Sims actual playing. I usually just use the game for building. But I'm sure you guys have all heard of the game Pair Lives. I'm hoping when that comes out I can get more into like the gameplay part. I just have a hard time sticking to a family because, oh, it's so bad. I always want everything to be perfect, so then I work really hard, but I don't get like connected to the characters because I just have them work and sleep and, I don't know, you know, be really basic. So I want to try and do something more interesting at some point in time, but I don't know when, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. So, you know, we'll see. One thing so as you'll see in a minute, with the gardens and everything, it's really colorful on the exterior, and then on the interior, I tried to use a lot of different like fun like paint swatches. Like the kitchen I put like pink tiles, which sounds really nasty, and I thought it was pretty nasty because usually I stick with more like basic realistic looking builds, or at least I try to. But yeah, I wanted it to be like really like cute and girly and a little bit out there. So something I'm kind of tempted to do, and I definitely should, to be honest, is I want to learn a little bit more about color theory. Because I know that colors can, like, they really can influence the way you feel, how you use colors in a space. Colors and lighting are, like, the two main things. They can, you know, they can help, like, influence, like, a more calm atmosphere. So if you're gonna have a bedroom where you're mainly just trying to, like, relax, and rest, then that's really good. But they can also like energize you and inspire you, and there's so many different ways to, design the space you're using to be the most functional for what you're doing. With like what's in it, but also with colors and lighting. So I want to maybe take some classes on that, and also possibly in just interior design in general, because learning another skill, even if you never use it to make money, it will always, or I believe at least, that it will always come in handy at some point in time, and you can always use things that you learned from that. You can apply it to other areas of your life or your work or whatever you're doing. So yeah, I think it would be really cool if it became more popular for people to take classes like outside of school, or for schools to encourage or like have a space where you can take classes more so just that cater towards what you're specifically interested in, because that way I think people would be maybe more invested in the class that they're taking, and then they would get more out of the class, obviously, because they'd be more invested. What you put in correlates pretty directly to what you get out. So I think that would be really cool. I mean, obviously the education system is like not really designed that way and kind of a piece of garbage, but hopefully at some point in time I would love to like help work to change that, because man, you could change it and make it so much better. But it's not that much better. But you know what, one day that's one thing I'd love to do with my life, is in some way work to help create a better environment for educating, because that's like, I don't know, I think that would be really cool, and I would feel like I actually did something with my life. But then something else I want to do is I want to be a mom. I think maybe like at some point in time, I think that would be kind of cool to have like a little child, put my like piece of self into the world. That doesn't make sense. But another thing I want to do is I want to work in interior design at some point. But also I just want to like improve like my cooking skills, and that kind of falls into like the mom category. But like a typical like stay at home suburban mom, I want to have like a little bit of that, but I don't want that to be my whole life. Like maybe like 4 or 5 years so I can master it, and then go on to be like a business mom, or like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to do the same thing with my life all of my life, because I know a lot of people that have done that. Like my parents are that way. They found one thing and they stuck to it, and that's really cool, and they're really happy, and that's awesome. But I don't want to try to force myself to stick to one thing in my whole life. I'd rather do one thing that can lead on to another thing, and not necessarily be like straight to a specific goal, but kind of just go around, like enjoy the journey more than the destination, if that makes sense. Like I kind of hate when people say that, because it's like, okay, yeah, sure, but in this case, I think it makes sense a little bit. So, like, for instance, I'm starting college, and it's like dual enrollment, so it's high school college, because I'm only 16, not gonna be like a proper freshman, but I am gonna be taking college classes instead of high school classes this year, and like going to actual college campus, but not living in a dorm, because I did that at boarding school, and it's not that bad. It's kind of fun, but it's a lot cheaper to live at home, and you have a lot more freedom if you live at home, because with big dorms come a big list of rules, and so it's just like a pain in the butt, but I don't know, I'm gonna be having like a kind of not typical college experience, obviously, plus corona, all that jazz. But I think it's a cool opportunity to see what kinds of people I can meet, and see what opportunities there are, because the typical things are really fun, like, go to college for 4 years, go to house parties, all that jazz. But I don't want to stick to that, because then I'm way too likely, like, I know myself well enough to know I will 100% compare my life and what I'm doing to every single other person's around me. Like, I do that all the time. I compare, like, everything to everyone else, which can be good. It can be motivation to be better, but it can also be really judgmental and really bad for myself and others. Like, I don't know, probably not the best trait, so we're kind of working on it. But if I do something that's like a little bit less common, then there's less people to compare myself to, and so it will be easier to do more what will make me happy and what will make me hopefully into just a better individual, without trying to put that pressure on myself to, have like a really like perfect quote unquote, like picturesque college experience, because maybe that will happen, but also maybe not. So I'm looking forward to it. Also, this is kind of off topic, and I know no one really cares, but the college I'm going to, it's really small. It's like a private, not that well known, probably not that good college, but it's kind of cool because how they do it is, instead of going by semester, they go by quarters. So you change classes each quarter, and that kind of sounds like a pain in the butt, but instead of having 6 classes each semester, you have 3 classes each quarter. So you're still doing the same amount of work, but you only have to focus on 3 subjects at a time instead of 6. So I'm super excited. I don't know how that's gonna be. Obviously I've never done that before, so I can keep you guys posted through these videos, I guess, if you're interested. But yeah, my first class is gonna be August, I believe, 18th or something like that. I don't know. I have to check my schedule, but 17th or 18th. And yeah, we'll try it out. We'll see how it goes this year, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I think it will be cool and, new. Because as much as I think I don't like change, I know that I get bored and grumpy if things don't change. If I'm not adapting to stuff, then I'm just bored of it, and I'm just like, come on, there's gotta be something more. So I don't think it will be a bad thing, and it helps me, learn to be more flexible, but also learn more skills that I maybe otherwise wouldn't have had learned, or had the opportunity in the situations where I kind of have to adapt to it. So I think in a way it's definitely not bad, because I've moved around my whole life, so I've never gone to a school for very long. I think I was homeschooled for part of my life, but aside from that, every other time I've been to a school, it's either I went to boarding school and I did online school and stuff, but every time I would never stay and be in the same, do the same schooling for more than a year. I'd always switch after that 1 year. So I don't know what it's like to live in the same place and grow up with the same people around you. I have some friends that I've known for, since middle school or whatever, but I've kind of grown up with them. I've grown up with them in my life, but I've also grown up for it to be very normal to only see my closest friends once a year, which is not that normal, because usually people, go to school with them, so they're always around them. But I that's just not how it's worked, which is fine. I don't know, I don't think I mind. I used to be super bitter about it, but I think I've gotten a little bit better about that. But I don't know, I forgot my point. Basically, I don't think it's a bad thing to not have a typical experience, because I've learned how to adapt with. From boarding school, I've learned how to adapt with being around people constantly and being around friends constantly, but I've also learned how to adapt with not seeing these people hardly ever, and being around people who are in a similar situation to me, but also being around people who have grown up with their friends the whole time. So I would like to think it gives me a little bit more perspective, and I can try to use that to the best of my ability to be more understanding of people and all that jazz. So I don't know, I definitely think it's interesting, and I hated it for quite a while. I had a rough time with it, especially in middle school, but I've come to try to appreciate it and see the good side to it. So I don't know, I now I kind of think I think I would have a lot of fun if I grew up with a typical high school experience, but because I wouldn't know what I was missing. But I'm also kind of glad that I didn't, because now I've had something that's a little bit more unique, so it makes it hard to relate to people sometimes, but it is, it's a fun thing, and it has a lot of kind of more unique memories, I guess. I don't know, I'm not trying to compare them, because you can't, they're just so different, but I don't even know what I'm getting at. I'm just thankful that I had the opportunity to, even though I hated it, realize that, hey, maybe there is like a silver lining to, I don't know if there's a silver lining to everything, but usually you can find like a silver lining to most things. So, you know, why not? You know, I say that, but then I also like complain about random garbage all the time, so I'm not trying to be like a hypocrite or trying to be like, anyway, so if your life sucks, you know, and you're homeless and you have a bad relationship with your parents and it's really garbage, at least you don't have to do dishes so much. Like, I'm not trying to be like, I don't know, pretentious or whatever garbage, but that's something that I'm kind of working towards, like, you know, remembering, I guess, and implementing into my life. Just that there is a silver lining and we just have to focus on that, and it doesn't mean that the bad things aren't there and that we shouldn't try to change them, but that, like, also not to hyper focus into them. Yeah, but again, it like will sometimes take ages to realize what the good part to it can be. Like, I don't know, I've struggled with that a lot, but, you know, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm being repetitive and repeating myself a lot, as if that's not a repetitive sentence, but, you know, we're just gonna get back to the build. We're in the last room, so this is the, this is one of the sisters' room, and it's supposed to be more calm, because I assume maybe she's like a lawyer or something. I'm not sure what she does as her day job, but she definitely needs a place to come home and relax and, you know, just hang out a little bit. So I tried to make this just like cute, a little bit rustic, but with like a bit of modern. I don't know if it worked. You guys can let me know what you think of it. I was happy with how it turned out. Maybe a little bit too basic, but like, or not basic, it's very simple, but I tried to make it simple without being basic. Maybe I failed, but, you know, I tried, so better try and fail than not try, because if you don't try, you automatically fail. Let me just quote, I don't know, that inspirational poster for you. I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood. Thankfully, we're almost done with the video, though. So, yeah, this was a whole house. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I think that it would be fun to play with the family sometime. So if you're interested, I think I put it up on the gallery. I don't actually know. It's not like anyone actually goes to download these houses anyway, though. But yeah, this is the house. I hope it inspired you to go and, you know, make your own house and your own Sims family and do whatever. But yeah, here's the screenshots. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye!